friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks workshop. It's December 31st, 2017, and it's early in the morning here in the shop, and I'm getting ready to try to get a video out for you today. I have a lot of video in the vault, as they say, or in the can, and so we're going to go back and pull one out that it's on an old Framus German-made guitar, and you'll see that here momentarily. Just wanted to tell you that it's cold here on the old homestead this morning. It's you know, depending how you say this, it sounds more dramatic. It's 20 degrees below freezing here this morning. So 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing, and it's 12 degrees Fahrenheit here on the farm. So that's plenty cold considering that we're not in Alaska. I mean, doggone, we're here in Missouri, in south central Missouri to boot. So that's pretty darn cold for the Ozarks down here. Oh, it's been colder, don't get me wrong. You know, people, you know, have got on me saying I don't burn as much wood as I say I burn. Well, let you be the judge. Last Saturday, a week ago, not yesterday, but a week ago Saturday, I cut 3 trailer loads of wood, and they were heaping trailer loads. They weren't, you know, just minimal loads. They pretty much squatted the trailer down on the axles, and 3 of them. And the trailer is 9 feet long, so it's longer than a pickup bed, and it's 5 feet wide, so it's a foot wider than a pickup bed, and it's heaped like that, and it's about the depth of a pickup bed. So 3 of those. My guess is that's roughly 2.5 cords, I'm just going to say, something like that, out of 3 trailer loads. And anyway, we burned all of that from Saturday through this past Friday. So that lasted exactly 7 days. Sad but true. So if I don't burn more wood for a private individual than anybody in the whole United States, I'd like to know who it is, because I really feel sorry for you. So if you burn more wood than me. I was watching one of those Alaska reality shows, which I like them, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking them, but one of the guys was cutting firewood and stacking firewood, and I think his wife was helping him, and he had the front porch, which was a deep front porch, and he had it completely full of wood, and he says, well, this ought to last us almost the whole winter. I thought, wow. Of course, he's heating a thing about the size of a postage stamp compared to what I'm trying to heat. My house, and I'm not bragging, but the house is just gigantic. It's like 6,000 square feet, and the problem is it's all on concrete slab floor. And it was made back in the 30s, when you can imagine that it wasn't done with energy efficiency in mind. And so it's really hard to keep that floor warm. It just sucks the cold in from all over. And we're only heating about half of the house, so we're roughly heating about 3,000, maybe 3,500 square feet. But holy moly, that's still really cold. It's an easy house to cool, though, but it sure is hard to heat. So that's my sad tale. Let's get into the video. Happy New Year to everybody. Hello friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks workshop. We have a, I'll let you figure out the pronunciation, Framus. I just call them a Framus. I don't know what they really are. I've had a few of these in over the years. I think the most unusual part of it is how that peg head is shaped. As you can see, the peg head, I'm exaggerating, but actually goes back up this way rather than this way. And to fix the problems that creates, which I don't know why they create the problem to begin with, then they put this on here to hold the strings down. And they're all made that way as far as I can tell, or at least all the ones I've seen have been made that way. This poor baby is in a world of hurt. And when I say world of hurt, I don't mean using the term lightly. It's broken, I don't even know where it starts, but up in here, all the way around, back to here. So it's busted there pretty badly, actually. It's got a hole knocked out in it right here. It's busted pretty bad right here. It's been broke in several other places that appear to have been fixed. And I don't know what else. You can see where they've put a pickup in it, or had a pickup in it. I don't know if it was original or what, but Anyway, it's not there anymore, and it's of course chipped out that part of the wood there. The worst part, I guess, is this big crack break along the side. And of course, actually, when I show you this, I didn't really show you how bad this is too, because it's cracked laterally across here too. I mean, I think I could lift it up to some degree. The cracks are fairly easy to fix though, so that's not that big a deal. You know, when I told her, I said, well, you know, it depends on how far you want to go with this. Do you want it to look real good, or you just want it to be playable? She says, I absolutely just want it playable. I don't care what it looks like. Okay, fine. Well, you know, and she goes, and I really don't want to spend more than $200. So I said, well, I think I can put it back in playable condition for about 200 bucks. I said, it's a pretty tall order, but we'll, you know, I'm just not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just going to do it quick and dirty as fast as I can get it fixed, and turn it around and get it back out to her. I'll take you along for the ride. You may have seen this in my videos before, but on old strings like this, you know, if I'm not going to save the strings, I just loosen them up so they're all loose. They're not tight at all, and I just go through and just clip them off. It just saves a lot of time. You know, especially on a budget job, you got to save all the time you can. I just get rid of the strings as quick as I possibly can get rid of them without spending any extra effort. And of course, up at this end, it's a little different than most because it's threaded through this thing here, and but it's not that bad. Okay, we got rid of the worst part of it. I'm just gonna, because it's so bad shape, I am gonna take a look inside because I don't want to go to a lot of trouble here if it's busted all up inside. So we'll take a look at that first. If there's a lot of braces loose or something like that, that's going to change the budget entirely, so I would have to call her. You know, I don't like how it's made in there, but I don't know that I could do anything about how it's made. And when I say I don't like how it's made, the bracing is very blocky, and the ones that go across are just butted up to the other braces, and there's gaps in there and stuff, but that's just workmanship, and you know, I can't do anything about that. It all looks okay as far as tight, as far as I can tell. There are no braces on the back, none at all, and the reason is it's a shaped back, or I don't know if I fall short of calling it carved because I have a feeling it's plywood and pressed, but yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm positive it's plywood and pressed because the grain pattern on the back does not match the grain pattern inside the guitar. So I'm sure it's plywood and it's been pressed into that shape. Pardon my coughing, but I believe I have pneumonia again. Terrible. Okay, well, let's get going here. You've seen me do this many times. I'm just putting small wedges in the crack to open it up the best I can so that I can get in there and get glue on it. Up in here, yeah, I've got it pressed back in there. I was going to say the crack didn't line up, but it does now, so I just pressed on it and it worked. But I think that's big enough that I can get glue in there real well. And then we'll just put, you know, edge clamps all the way around here and clamp it up. And we'll line it up the best we can. Will it be perfect? Probably not, but we'll do the best we can. What I've done is I pull the carpet down over the edge of the table. I lean this against the carpet, in case you're wondering what I'm doing here. Set it in between my knees the best I can just to get a grip on it. A lot of this is so that I can let you see it on the camera. You know, this might not be the easiest way for me to work on this, but it's the easiest way I can work on it and let you see what I'm doing. You know, as always, I come back with a paintbrush and I just work it down into the crack the best I can. And that actually works pretty well. I don't think there's going to be any problem with coverage here. If anything, I got quite a bit too much glue on there. And then I move my wedges so I can get glue where the wedges were. Got plenty of glue on there, that's for sure. Now I didn't get myself a wet rag yet, but I got to do that. What I always do is use warm water. So I've got my water here in a little bowl, and squeeze my rag out in there then, and we'll just wipe off the excess first. Alright, I'm just going to work from one end and try to line up the crack as best I can and see how well it goes. Sometimes this goes good, sometimes it's not so easy. But if you take your time and line it up as you go, you can usually do a pretty good job. Not wanting to line up very well up here, so gonna have to remove some clamping pressure and try to get it lined up a little better. That's better, but it's been in its own shape the way it wants to be for a long time, so reshaping it now is kind of hard, especially when you got everything held in with your fingers and you're trying to operate clamps and everything else. Actually, it's lining up pretty good now all of a sudden. Sometimes you get lucky. I interrupt this video just to ask a favor. That is, I'd like to have you click the subscribe button if you've not already done it, and give me a thumbs up. Man, these videos take a lot of work to put out, and it just takes you a second to click that thumbs up. What that does is it helps get the video a higher rating, and maybe gets it seen by more people. And all of that helps support the channel, and I would appreciate it if you'd do that right now. Thank you. That's actually pretty darn good. I'm kind of surprised how well that lined up, because it really wasn't wanting to line up at all. It just kept wanting to go different directions. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but then again, you just do what you can do, especially on a tight budget job. And I already don't like the finish on this. It's turning milky white because it must be the shellac type finish, and when you wipe it with water, shellac turns milky white. So that's not good. I hope it will go back, because you know, it is what it is. As she said, she don't care about the looks. We're just trying to make it playable, but I don't really want to create problems if I can avoid them, so I'm trying to wipe it dry as best I can to get rid of the moisture in that finish. I think it's going to be okay based on what I'm seeing, but I'm hoping it'll dry back to clear. If not, we'll do a little sanding and a little buffing in this area to try to clear it back up as best we can. Yeah, the old world methods are good, but they create a lot of problems too, and these old finishes like this create a lot of problems in my opinion. They're good finishes, but keep them away from the moisture. Okay, I think that's as good as that gets. I don't think you're going to get it much better than that. It feels pretty smooth. You can sort of feel it a little bit in a place or two, but not too bad. Actually, it's pretty good. Right here, I can feel it a little bit. And when the clamps are loose right here, so tighten that back up. Actually, that probably was a good thing, because now I don't hardly feel it at all now. Okay, we're going to set that aside because that's kind of fragile. These kind of clamps pop off real easy, so I'm just going to set it aside, let that part settle, and then we'll work on another part. Okay, I've taken a little tiny piece of double stick tape and stuck a magnet to it, to this cleat, because when I get in there, I don't want the magnet sliding around and all that, and I would like, and I'll be able to then locate the cleat with this magnet and put it where I want it. So that's the plan anyway. Let's see how well it works. Well, this guitar, as we've already said, is pretty abused. How I'm going to glue this is, I just got it shimmed open the best I can with a little wedge there, and
Just going to try to get glue down into the different cracks and things. It's pretty smushed. It's been dropped on that edge and the wood is compressed. You know, this isn't going to be the best job in the world, I can tell you for sure, but it's maybe going to stabilize it at least. There's almost no way you can fix something like this and without really spending a lot of time and effort. And as you already know, we don't have that luxury on this job. So I'm just going to kind of coat all these loose fibers, and then we'll just wipe it off and let it set. I'm trying to get the brush underneath the fibers, and it is going under there, so hopefully we'll at least stabilize it like I said. You can see I'm just squeezing the fibers back together the best I can with a little clamp there, and I've got plastic on here so it won't stick to the top. This is pretty badly damaged actually, and there's a big crack right in here that on the side, and I'll see what I can do about getting some glue in that. Problem with this is it's sticking out proud of the side, and you know there's almost no way to tuck it back in there because it's sticking out here, and so I'm thinking instead of trying to, I don't think I can get it to force it back down in there. I don't think it'll go. So I'm just going to cut off this little part that's sticking out and see if it'll go flush, because it's not going to fold back underneath there. There's just no way. But maybe I can cut off the part that's sticking out and it'll go back down to flush, and then we can glue it that way. Just about to get her, I think. Can't tell what's holding it. There it went. Almost back in there. Yeah, I wouldn't call it perfect, but it's not too bad. Now if I can pry it out enough to get glue on it, and looks like I got it there a little bit. So stick glue back underneath here. Yep, you can see the squeeze out there, I think. I hope you can. As I press it down, it's squeezing out there. Now I'm just going to try to press it down flush best I can. Don't think it's going to go perfectly flush, but it's getting pretty close. I wouldn't call it perfect, but it's real close. If I had a way to clamp that now, which there's not too many good ways to clamp that, I think I'll put an edge clamp on here and then put a wedge under there to force that down. A little more creative clamping there. You can see I got just a tiny bit of squeeze out along this little crack right here, I think. I don't know if you can see it or not, but anyway, there is a little tiny little beads of squeeze out there from putting this clamp on there and then sliding this wedge under there. It tightened it up a little bit. I'm just going to wipe it off with my finger because it's not much. But anyway, I think that'll help hold that. Just going to go looking around here. We've got a bullet hole right there. I don't think it's actually a bullet hole, although it might be because it comes all the way through here. Wouldn't surprise me if that wasn't a bullet hole now that I look at it. But it has had a pickup on it there. You can see a circular thing around it. But the way it looks, I can see through both holes, let's put it that way. So when I look down through here, I can see through the other hole real straight. And so if it wasn't a bullet hole, it missed a good opportunity.
Well, the Framus guitar is at least structurally okay, I believe. We've got that great big crack glued all the way around, and I put a few cleats on the inside, the ones that I could reach easy enough. And we glued up this big crack that was on the top here where it was smashed, and glued up the little crack on the edge here too. I didn't bother filling these bullet holes, and I'm calling them bullet holes. I don't think they actually are. I think they had some kind of controls or pickups or something on those. Although it's possible it's a bullet hole. You never know.
But as far as I can tell, at least structurally it's good, and that's all they were going for. So I'm going to go ahead and put strings on it and see what it looks like. At one point in time, I can tell there's circles around these holes, so they had some kind of ferrules on there. I've checked and found these little ferrules that I have extra, and they fit, and I'm going to go ahead and put those in there just to take up space in the hole. Otherwise, those the tuning keys are going to be, the posts are going to be pulling pretty hard. So this will take up a little bit of slack in that hole then. It's not a perfect fit, but it's better than nothing. Might actually be a perfect fit, I don't know. I don't know if you could get it to fit much better than that. So anyway, that's what it looks like now with the little ferrules on there. And so we'll go ahead and tune it up. We've got the old Framus all tuned up here, ready to go. Again, it's just structurally back together, and it seems to be fine. I don't think there's going to be any problem. It says, built in the heart of Bavaria. The model number is so washed out in there, I can't even read it. It's pretty washed out. But anyway, it does say Framus Worky Bavaria, made in West Germany, Germany. You know, if I was going to describe how this thing sounds, I'd say it sounds slightly, and I'm just saying very slightly, resophonic. It's like an acoustic resophonic, if there is such a thing. It actually has a little bit of a metallic sound, and I would say that a lot of that is this heavy-duty bridge and metal bridge and all that stuff that's going on there. There's metal on the inside, by the way, too. They've got an aluminum block underneath here, too. So, and with all the metal up here, and there's just a kind of a stout guitar, but it has a decent sound. It's just got its own sound, and it definitely does sound slightly resophonic, especially like this open E. It almost sounds like you're hitting the E on a resophonic guitar. Not quite as metallic sounding, but it's got something going on there. Well, I suppose that on a German guitar, we ought to play some sort of a German themed song. This is as close as it gets right here for me. I've heard this song before. I've never ever attempted to play it. Here we go. It's called Fräulein. Far across deep blue waters lives an old German's daughter by the banks of the old River Rhine, where I loved her and left her, but I can't forget her. I miss my pretty Fräulein. Fräulein, Fräulein, look up toward the heaven each night when the stars start to shine. By the same stars above you, I swear that I love you. You are my pretty Fräulein. Well, there's got to be a first time for everything. Actually, this wasn't my first Framus guitar, but it was the first time ever trying Fräulein. Hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.